What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Broad Street Blitz Take Leader Edition with your boy Cool Cat Connor and my guy Leader. What up, Leader?
What's going on, Cool Cat, man? What's going on, Jennifer? We have a hostess, special guest, Jennifer McGraw from Eagles Wire, Eagles Writer, USA Today, man. How you doing, Jennifer?
Doing great. Thank you guys for inviting me on. It's been a minute since I've talked about the Eagles. Of course, there's been a whole off season, of course, but it's great to be able to talk about the Birds again, especially coming off the Super Bowl win. Of course, we're back to, 1-0, but it's going to be great to see more of the Eagles, more of the season as it unfolds, and hopefully as we go back to hopefully another Super Bowl.
Yep. So while we wait for Leader, let's start it off with the Philadelphia Eagles defeating the Dallas Cowboys 24-20. Let's get your reaction to that, Jen, and what's your thoughts?
Gosh, that was a roller coaster of a game, I think. I think one of my biggest takeaways was there's somebody this season who's like learning the game football, and they chose that Eagles-Cowboys game to be their first game. And in that whole span, they got, a lightning delay, people spitting on each other, injuries. They got the whole thing. And of course, all with the Eagles-Cowboys rivalry. But putting that aside, I think it was kind of, in my opinion, a really mid performance by the Eagles. I mean, they came away with the win. They were able to do what they do best, which is just figure out a way to win. And we saw that with Jalen Hurts, of course, being able to move on his feet and be able to deliver, to be able to help with the team. But I think it was kind of a middle performance from both teams. And then, looking at the Cowboys side, we kind of expected some stumbling with them no longer having Micah Parsons. But for both teams, of course, it is the first game of the season. You're going to have some hiccups. There's going to be some things that that happen. And there's some things, of course, that should not happen. But seeing Jalen Hurts be able to perform, like we did in the Super Bowl, I think is going to be just enough confidence for us for right now, I think. And like I said, the Eagles are working out kinks, so it definitely makes sense that this was not like a star-studded performance.
Yep. Go ahead, Leader.
Yeah, that's definitely a fact. When Jalen Carter got took out, a lot of momentum went. What the defense is based around doing, got kind of interfered. And it was great to see how the coaching staff regrouped. Defense regrouped in the second half. The offense looked good. I mean, of course, A.J. Brown just recently came out with something saying he was covered a lot. They was on him, man. I mean, so wasn't like Jalen, he took up for his quarterback. That was great. It's great to see this team is totally different. Nolan Smith at an interview was like, forget the Super Bowl. We talking about this season. I just like how this team was going, but it was definitely a mid-performance. It was just them coming without Carter. You can see how big of a player he is. He knocked the momentum out of both sides. it took the whole game plan to Dallas different. They had to be different. So it was just different. But I think it was a big win, in my opinion, as far as starting the season. Start the season, you get the win, and they came back. They were down. They came back and won the game. It showed the toughness. And Jalen Hurts looks more smooth. He's confident in the mind. When he moves in to not play. He's not like he's making every move good. Smart runs. He's making smart runs. I think Jalen had I think people are not looking at that game in its entirety. That game, we had both our receivers were out. Both receivers were out, and he still won. So what y'all gonna say now? Barkley had 60 yards rushing, and he still found the way himself. He won the game. So no question, we need to do better. I mean, you see the improvements, but what makes us good, starting off, coming from the Super Bowl and winning a tough game like that. Jalen Carter not getting suspended, I felt so. I'm gonna say this direct. Say it's direct. Mm-hmm. Dak Prescott spit. He spit. He initiated it. Listen, he was playing chess and Jalen lost. That's what happened. He played chess. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. He said he came in because he was talking to Booker. So he interfered. And when he interfered, you saw what he was saying. If everybody looked, nobody's blind. He was talking to him and spit toward him. Like, whatever he was saying, he spit. So Jalen being young and being a savage, this man's a defender. This is what he does. He beats people up. Ask Patrick Mahomes. He comes over there and he said, "Oh, you spitting at me?" And Dak says it in the interview. He says, "Are you spitting at me?" He says the whole time, "I spit all the time. I spit a million times." "Oh, so you spit a lot, huh?" So, okay, so you telling on yourself. You're telling on yourself that there was a problem. So during that, he comes through, he spits, and Carter spits at him. Carter knew at the time he got kicked out. Carter didn't think he was getting kicked out. He was playing football, physical sport, and it happened. He knows now. The team answered good. Jalen was like, we talked to him. We all for him. He understands. Everybody is for each other. So if nobody looked at one thing from this game is that the Eagles on a mission. They're on a mission.
Yep. What's your thoughts, Jen, on the Jalen Carter situation?
So initially, and I guess this is where like my fandom first, journalist second kind of comes in. But for I think a good 3/4 of the game, I was so pressed about Jalen Carter spitting because I think the Eagles have spent so long. I think honestly, maybe even before since the first Super Bowl win, they've spent so long developing such a good what's the word I'm looking for? Like such a good what is what I'm trying to say here? A good reputation. They've spent so much time trying to build this like really good reputation. They're men of faith. They're men who support mental health awareness. They're men who are in their community. So when something like that happens with a Jalen Carter, of course, reacting really honestly any way a Philly fan or a Philly person would react. They're not gonna sit idly by if somebody's spitting at them, and they're not gonna be a pushover about it. But I think in the heat of the moment, I think definitely could have been handled better. I was a little pressed about Carter doing that because he is a vital asset to the team right now. I mean, we're obviously without Slay, without Milton Williams, and without Josh Sweat. So now we've got Jalen Carter who's stepping up in a big role, and he is going to continue to step up in a big role during the season. Right. So it was a little disheartening, but I know with the Eagles being so understanding, of course, with Jalen being the leader that he is, Jalen Hurts being the leader that he is. They talked about it. They handled it in-house. They did what they needed to do. And I think that's nothing more that you can ask for. I mean, there's nothing more that you could really try to push in this situation other than two guys spit at each other. They're going to handle it the way that they're going to handle it. The NFL has not really made a big deal out of this before, so why make it a big deal?
Right. I wanted one thing I wanted to say about that, it's no question Jalen Carter's a young guy and he got caught in something. But one thing I want to say, all right, Philadelphia forgot about that. So listen, it's one thing when you're saying we know it's a bad situation, but this is Philadelphia. When he spit on him, I'm gonna guarantee you every Philly fan was like, yeah, what is he doing? But being a player in that situation in the corporate field, in front of the cameras, he knows now. This is a young guy. This is third year, and he's just reaching his potential. So I liked the way the linebackers played. Zach Bond. He chased Miles Sanders down.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see? He runs a 4.49. Zach Bond runs a 4.65. He ran him down, man. It was. I think that was the game changer during the whole. And then Jahad Campbell, Jesus, man. You know what? I didn't. When he went down the field and covered that one, he was going like a slot corner. Like, you have to be a certain athletic ability to cover guys like that. And I'm really excited about him. Byron Young did good. People talk. Byron Young did good in the defensive line. Coming in for Carter, he did good. And I think the defense really. I was really saying, what are they going to do in the second half? And they really stepped up. I mean, Fangio was the real deal. I really Patullo for sure. What we do know, Patullo has some games ago. I think the third game. Remember, I said last year, cool cat. No, 3 games. Let them get used to each other. Patullo's been there before. Just let them go ahead and get used to what he's doing. He actually got some new tricks. Will Shipley looked good in the offense. They ran 3 running backs. Jahan Dodson, it was good to see him catch a pass. It's telling you something. That's telling you something about those 3. So I just think this was a good win to top off the division, and this could have been a loss. But they didn't let it be a loss.
Yep. Oh, for me, my question to Leader and Jen is, thoughts on how Jalen freaking Hurts plays. That's what we call him here in the YouTube game. We call him Jalen freaking Hurts. He had a 19 of 23 for 152 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, sack once, a rate of 94.2. So I'm gonna ask Leader and I'm gonna ask Jen this. Thoughts on QB1 performance. And before we do that, where's my beautiful button at? Here it is. Acknowledge me!
Go ahead, Jen. What do you think about that performance?
I think it's this performance, regardless of, what I said in the beginning about the team overall. I think Jalen freaking Hurts, his performance.
Hey!
Is definitely a testament to him just not being done. Like, the Super Bowl, great. Money is great. Championships are better. Great. But then now we're back to 0-0-1-0, and he's just locked in and focused. I think we see a new psychopath in Jalen Hurts. I mean, during the offseason, during training camp, he's walking around on the field barefoot. So just knowing that he knows about, like a grounding technique like that, and knowing the very small details about just wanting to be better every single day, and then being able to go and do something, like that against the Cowboys, against a division rival, a week 1 game. There's already implications, for future playoffs. Him being able to deliver both in pass and in rush. Of course, he put up 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yes.
It's just so great to see. It's so great to see a quarterback who literally during that game at some points was just meditating in the pocket because of how much time he had. And it's, it's also a testament to our offensive line. Obviously can't forget them, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, being able to protect him, being able to help him do what he does. But yeah, Hurts is on another level this season. I'm feeling like, even without AJ Brown, even without Devontae Smith, he was still able to get the job done. He was still able to rally the team. So I think we're going to see a new era of Jalen Hurts this year. And,
yes,
you got it. Like the little clip said, you're going to have to acknowledge it at some point that he is literally one of one. He is an insane athlete, and we're going to continue to see, even if the Eagles go out this weekend, win or lose, Jalen Hurts is going to be an exceptional athlete. He's going to be the anchor for the team. And I think with a lot of the moving parts that the Eagles have had this season, it's going to be great to see Jalen be such an anchor for the team and continue to consistently deliver like we've seen so far.
This was important. Yeah. It was important to hear Jen say, see, there's been a lot of talk before the season if he's elite, top 10. And that game, I just want to say that game proved a lot. One thing Cam Newton was saying, we got to bring up the Cam Newton thing. Cam Newton said not elite, talking about stats and all this. Long story short, in that game, like Jen just said, no Devontae Smith. I don't think AJ Brown got the ball into the fourth quarter.
Right.
Like Dallas came in there. He was the best receiver there. No Saquon Barkley. Elite quarterbacks don't have to pass for 300 when they're getting the job done and winning the game, passing efficiently. And then you're talking about without Saquon Barkley, without your 1 and 2 receiver right there, he still wins the game. And then there's turmoil before the game. It takes a lot for a quarterback to focus into the game and do the right things that's supposed to be done when something like that going on. If Jalen Hurts wasn't a top 10 quarterback right now in people's eyes, like I don't know if people are looking at top elite quarterbacks. What are you judging it off of? Like, he has a Super Bowl MVP. He was nominated for MVP. He was in the race twice, from 2022, and then later parts in the middle parts of 2023, he was there, and then he dropped off in the last end of the year. But he was there for the race. When they were 10-1, they were talking about him in the MVP race. Then you're talking about last year, what he did. He improved 5 interceptions, 18 touchdowns. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't know what people are seeing. Michael Jordan came to see the man. Michael Jordan was at the game. Jalen Hurts ran the touchdown in and put his hands up. The famous put your hands up. But his friend is Michael Jordan and Tom Brady. Joe Montana said that Jalen Hurts is one of the quarterbacks that he'll start. Peyton Manning came. What do y'all want to hear? So I just feel like it was a great game. I was glad he was efficient, make no mistakes. It was just a perfect game for a quarterback. It was a perfect game for a quarterback, especially the way it was going. When they block out both your receivers, what is he going to do? He's going to be Jalen Hurts, making quick decisions. I love this performance. I love this performance, and can't wait to see Sunday when they play the Chiefs, man.
And I want to add to that real quick too, because you make a good point. There's probably gonna be times this season where the receivers don't get a lot of don't get a lot of action in the game. So what do? You rely on Saquon Barkley. And then vice versa. There might be some games where you don't rely on Saquon Barkley as often in a game because maybe, you're facing up a good run defense.
Right.
So what do? You probably rely on the receivers. But if both options are not really feasible in the game, Jalen Hurts is still going to find a way to win. Like I said, and like we've mentioned, put up excellent numbers in the pass, and then put up insane numbers in the rush already. And like I'd mentioned earlier with the 2 rushing touchdowns. So no matter what, this team is going to find a way to win, and it's going to be with Saquon. It's going to be with receivers, but it's definitely going to be with Jalen.
Very hard team to beat for 4 quarters. That's why I say you have to beat them for 4 quarters. That's it.
Yep. Simple as that. So, leader, you wanted me to show the people this before.
The edge rush rate. This was, look at Josh Uche, look at Nolan Smith. During that week, they had the top 10 rush rate. Uche is a backup pass rusher. Like I said a million times about this new defense, they got more pass rushers. More pass rushers. You got Isaiah Ojolari, you got Josh Uche, they got Agbo there, and they just got Sandarius Smith. My God. Like, it's going to be different. And I think they do that because they look at the cornerback situation. They say, okay, if we got the QB2 doing this, we got to upload the pass rush. We got to keep on, because Quinyon's still doing good. Quinyon and Cooper had great camps. They had Cooper everywhere. They had him on base package, near the linebacker. He can play near the safety. Quinyon, they had him traveling the main receiver in camp. Like, he's that guy. They had a problem with him in the game. Adoree Jackson just has to keep on getting it enough, and we'll see what happens. If it's a problem, let me tell you something. If it's a problem, you see how they didn't attack the cornerback. They didn't really try to trade for a cornerback real hard. They're happy where they're at. I think people were making a big assumption because Adoree didn't beat Keeley. They're happy with both of them. One actually beat one out. You got a vet starting next to him. Keeley is a free agent in 2027, just like Ja'Cory Bennett, so they can both fight for the position next year. I don't think they're really – Bennett runs a 4.3. Keeley runs a 4.3. They both run 40-inch verticals. So they're not unhappy. They got young guys. But if it's a problem, you know Howie will solve it. I'm telling you right now, everybody knows if it's a problem, because Howie wants to win. He said this team will look different this year. He said that. So I just think, I think right there, big time thing, seeing how the pass rush rate went. Nolan Smith is my guy. He was my guy last year. I said he was going to break out. Man was number 3 in the country. I've been so big on him since he came out of high school. Yes, this is a good. I think this is a defense that's going to get better, especially a Jomo, guys like that. Ty Robinson, we haven't seen him. We just saw Jahad. I'm really excited to see the new guys in this defense.
Yep. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I am really excited to see what kind of unfolds for the Eagles defense this season, especially looking at some of our pass rush and then bringing in Za'Darius because when I was doing some notes for the show earlier, looking it up, not only is Za'Darius a 3-time Pro Bowl pass rusher, but he also has that playoff experience. So where that'll come in time for the
Right.
Eagles, down the line, if and when they make the playoffs, it will help in the immediate future because he has that knowledge of being able to compete against these harder teams, like the Cowboys, like the Chiefs, like the Ravens, and things like that. So I'm really excited to see how he's able to kind of help Nolan Smith, help even some of the younger guys, just be able to bolster that defense and kind of pick up where we may have lost a few pieces along the way. But I do agree there about Howie, where there is an immediate problem, where there is a real problem, Howie will solve it. And I think in a way he likes to play chess as well. He might not immediately go out and fix the solution, but he'll find a way to kind of alleviate the situation. And I feel like in a way, it kind of makes the other team seem like, oh, if they're confident, if they feel like they're confident in cornerback, then maybe we shouldn't be attacking that as hard. But really, it's just a big back and forth game. And I had written this on my website earlier this month on firstandgen.com, but the Eagles, I think, are going to play a mental game this season, just in the overarch of things. And I think it is going to be a lot of a defensive talent thing that they're going to do. But yeah, tying all that bit back in, I'm very excited to see what Za'Darius Smith can do and what kind of knowledge he can bring to the team.
Cool, Cat. On this defense, what did you feel from the start and high progress? What did you think of the defense?
For me, this defense, we did the numbers on Birds of Broad Street. Me, Simone, One Trey Rocket Smitty every Monday and Friday. We talked about it. Like, the defense does it got some work to do? Yes. Does Jalen Carter not being in the game affected it? Yes. But did we need some sacks in that game and interceptions? Yes. But at the end of the day, it was a bend, don't break kind of a defense that at the second half especially, only didn't allow so many points. Because, again, the score was 24-20. Like, they could have added some more points in there, but they did do their best on the defense. They got a lot of work to do, yes, but I was impressed by the defense. The defense was good, not great. I'll say it like that. It was good, not great. There were some things that need to work on. Adoree Jackson, there's some things that need to be worked on, but at the end of the day,
he knows, yeah.
Right. It was good. I'll say it was good. It wasn't great and it wasn't bad. It was okay. I'll just say that much. It was okay.
They were betting on their defense too, because it was like, how Nick Sirianni, he'll go for it on fourth down. There were 2 fourth downs where we know what he does. The Eagles was laid back. They really trusted their defense. They was like, all right, we're gonna let them take care of it, and they did. It was something to see. It was something to see. You can tell the coaching, everybody just together. It just looks like that on the sideline.
Yep. So the other thing we want to talk about before we get to the Chiefs is the go ahead and talk about
Tank Bigsby, man. That's Tank is there, man. That's crazy. Tank Bigsby. That's what I'm talking about by Howie. He's a surprise. Like, listen, Tank Bigsby led them in rushing last year. He led the Jaguars in rushing. He's 24 years old. Yes, he can return kicks. If they said they're going to put him there, he's going to be there. But you got to understand, Tank Bigsby can run the ball too. Tank Bigsby can run the ball too. It's going to be a great addition. Za'Darius Smith is the boyfriend of rap star Cash Doll. They are here. It's going to be and you're in Philadelphia, a good city to be a star couple here. And you're talking about Za'Darius Smith had 9 sacks. He had 4 with Cleveland, 5 with Detroit. You're putting him on the defensive line. Listen, it was the reason why they let Gabe Hall go. There's a reason why I let him go. Darius is going to take their defensive line part, because I was wondering how they were probably going to move him from defensive line to pass rusher. But now he'll get more snaps. With Gabe Hall on the practice squad, I knew they was going to put him there when they released him because they like to have a deep practice squad where they can bring you in and you can play starter somewhere. They don't like to have a practice squad where you're just sitting there. Okay, so Darius Smith will definitely get some time behind a Jomo right there on that defense. That's going to be crazy. It's going to be times they can put him at edge rusher where they can put him on there with a Jomo and they can put him on there with Carter. Darius Smith is he's a 3-time Pro Bowler, second team All Pro. Like, if people don't know, they got a $9 million deal. They get up to $9 million he can make. No, he's the real deal. If people don't know about Za'Darius, he's the real deal. Dan Campbell said he had enough depth. That's why he was good, and that's why Cash Dog posted, "Hey, we good too, Coach." So this guy's really like. I'm glad that they got another pass rusher. That's a lot of pass rushes. That's what we need. Put more pressure, and with the defense to help the secondary. I really like that Darius Smith. That one surprised me. I didn't know he was even out there. That was a surprise. And Tank Bigsby you traded a 5th and a 6th. They got a lot of draft picks next year. So he can play with these. He's like, okay, I can do this. He'll probably get him back. Howie will do another trade to get him back. I mean, there's a lot of things. It's his Howie. Like Howie, the one thing he has correct. He has his math book right. And he has whatever the Eagles have, trades, whatever, he has it. He has the math right, and he has all that. It's crazy. I can't wait to see this game with them in it because now Mahomes has to deal with him. He has to deal with him. It's gonna be good to see Darius Smith on that Eagles team. I was just totally surprised by that, and I was totally surprised by the biggest shocker was the trade for Tank Bigsby. Because once again, he didn't trade for a cornerback. Don't y'all see how comfortable he is with the cornerback position? He didn't trade for a cornerback. He didn't trade. He signs to Darius Smith. He didn't go for Justin Simmons. He's cool with the safety as the cornerbacks. He wants them to evolve. He wants them to grow. You see, these guys are young. So this is going to be something to see on Sunday when we see Darius Smith and Tank Bigsby. It's going to be something to see.
Yep. Go ahead, Jen.
I feel like, too, I just thought of this now, and kind of touching on what I said earlier about him bringing in knowledge. I feel like the Za'Darius Smith, bringing him in, I feel like indirectly in a way will help the cornerback room kind of develop maybe a little bit quicker than, we want to hope.
Right.
Because he has so much experience, because he knows what it's like to go out and want to win and have that desire to win a Super Bowl. He's going to be able to show the younger room, who I believe like the Eagles are one of the youngest, if not the youngest defensive room or defensive group in the NFL. So having him really kind of is going to show them how they can be strategic with their positions and how they're going to be able to just handle themselves going forward because, we got the Chiefs this weekend. So I really, as time went on, I really just found more and more reasons to just fall in love with this move. And it's really, this and the Tank move as well, but both of these are really savvy moves without breaking the bank. And it's just a testament to Howie's greatness, like literally. And I think, I just think it's going to be really exciting to see what he's able to bring outside of just what he's able to do on the field. And I'm excited to see 2 guys on the field who are going to be a problem for Mahomes and future quarterbacks this season.
Yeah, yes. Same here, man. He'll be a good learning teacher for Jalen Carter as well.
Right.
Right. He'll be a good learning teacher for Jalen Carter as well. So it's going to be a test from Patrick Mahomes against this defense. They don't got their wide receivers. We'll know more tonight in the injury report of one of their wide receivers play. But at the end of the day, man, I need some improvement from this defense. You didn't get that much sacks versus the Cowboys. If they did, someone let me know. But you got to sack Patrick Mahomes. That's the number one thing. But I love the move. Let's keep it going. So with that, we got the Kansas City Chiefs week 2 coming up. Let's start with Leader because he wanted this. And that is the Super Bowl rematch that we had. So as you guys can see, Raiders versus Minnesota, the Raiders won. Cowboys versus the Steelers won. Bills won in their rematch. Green Bay won in theirs. The Seahawks won in theirs. Broncos won in theirs. Patriots won in theirs. We won in ours. Chiefs won in theirs. And this upcoming game, we will see what it will be. So, leader, starting with you, Kansas City Chiefs. Preview, prediction, thoughts. Talk to me.
Yeah, that last 10 right there, you look at the last 10, so they're saying Eagles going to win. If you look at the two losses, it was when in 93, the Cowboys played the Bills. Bills got there. And then the Eagles. The Eagles lost in 2023, came back. No, 2022 came back and beat the Chiefs. We all remember that game. That's when Hurts outplayed Mahomes again. About 3 times. 3 times. So this is going to this game. Cool Cat, you was talking about the receivers. The receivers, I'm not really scared of the receivers. I'm just not. If you see the games, the Eagles always beat up. The receivers always beat up their cornerbacks. Trent McDuffie has a bad time against the Eagles. He does not like A.J. Brown. He has nightmares. And Devontae Smith is the best route runner in football.
Devontae Smith, in my opinion, sorry to interrupt you, leader. Devontae Smith, in my opinion, is a Kansas City Chief killer.
Yeah, he is.
In my opinion, leader.
My God, like Devontae, yeah, it's going to be one of those games. And then knowing that Jahan Dotson's got, you see how that was just a great explosive. Like, listen, this is what we got. And Dallas Goedert played great in that game. He played great in that game. He's there. I don't see if I'm looking at this game, and then you got Carter. They got to be not happy about that. Carter's playing, and then you got Za'Darius Smith coming, and Jordan Davis looked so good last game. Jordan Davis was moving around like a linebacker. Did y'all see how Jordan Davis was moving around the line? I mean, he was 6 tackles, like he looked good. That's scary. That to know that Carter's coming, Davis, and then you got Za'Darius Smith, got Jomo. That's scary. I just think this team, and then their receivers. Okay, Xavier Worthy got hurt. Hollywood Browns there. They brought some people up from the practice squad, the Chiefs, to let you know they're not even really sure about Worthy. Who's going to mess with Quinion? Who? Juju? I'm just looking at. I'm being factual. Okay, first, one thing to be a fan because I'm a Bird Gang fan all day, but Chiefs didn't look real good against the Chargers. Mahomes did. Mahomes was trying to win. Travis Kelce dropped the pass. Travis Kelce ran into. You know how Worthy got hurt? He ran it. They're not on the same page. It just don't look like. Just out of respect, like that's a respectful franchise, but they don't look like they're on the same page right now. Not saying it's going to be all season, but from the first game, that just looked crazy. He ran into him. Y'all don't know what y'all doing? That's crazy. And we talking about Andy Reid, one of the greatest. Spagnuolo, defensive. That's what made our win so good. We scored 40 on Spag without Barkley. I just think, and I think Barkley is listen, this game, we're looking at this game. I just think it's a couple of people in this game. When we get to the game key people who I think are going to have big games in this game. I mean, I just think that it's time. I think looking at the game, both of them played like they're supposed to. The difference is the Chiefs lost. Both of them could have played better games. The difference is the Chiefs lost. They lost. Chiefs lost. So, but the Eagles, they won. So I just think the Eagles want to play better too. Everybody talking about the Chiefs coming off a loss, they're going to have momentum. The Eagles want to play better. This is the same people that said forget the Super Bowl. All right, so listen. Yeah, I think at this game, it's going to be the key points of this game. I think the defense the defense is going to want to play good too. They want to answer it too. They want to let you know too. So everybody's amped up. That game wasn't what you thought. If I can see
A.J. Brown, he's going to want to step up too.
That's my number one guy who I think going to have a big game. You crazy? You crazy? Trent McDuffie has sleepless nights of thinking about A.J. Brown. Him and Gilmore. They talking about. I hear the Cowboys fans talking about Gilmore because Deron Bland is out, and that's another thing. Goodness gracious! Didn't you pay Deron Bland but talk about Micah Parsons' injury? What are you saying about Deron? Like, it's crazy. I just talked to Micah Parsons' brother, and I was like, man, I said, dang, look how quick he paid Deron quick. I wonder what Jerry going to say. Then, Terrence said, man, like, it's crazy how the chess game works. Like, injuries happen in football. But on this game, Jen, I want to ask you, what do you think? What do you think about this game coming up? What do you think initially about this game? And what's your outcome?
So look, I mean, I'm sorry for looking down for a minute because I do have some notes on this. Some things that I'm looking at are a couple key matchups. Obviously, like we got done talking about. It's only we just past week 1. We're gonna have kinks. We're gonna have things, going on. Obviously, the Chiefs, we're not expecting to lose Xavier Worthy. We weren't expecting to not have like receiver targets much in the first game, or not expecting to not have, I should say. So I'm looking at how Hurts, ironically, as we just get done talking about pass rush too, I'm looking at how Hurts is going to handle the pass rush because the Chiefs, obviously, coming off of the Super Bowl, coming off of a loss last week, they're ready to just win again. They're ready to be like the it team of the NFL again. And like you said, right now they're not on the same page. We had, like you said, Travis Kelce running into his own teammate and then later even getting slapped by one of the Chargers. So like we don't know what's really going on there. We don't know why he's having some sort of issue on the field, but he's not the leader that he's supposed to be, and it's making Mahomes have to work harder than he needs to. So I'm looking to see how the Chiefs defense is going to step up this week and how Hurts is going to respond to it. Obviously, Hurts had a bunch of time last week in the pocket to be able to make the moves that he needed to make, but that might not be the case this week. So I want to see how Hurts is able to bounce back from that and really deliver on the pressure. And I think he's going to do good. I think it might be, if anything, it might be a rocky start. We're still kind of adjusting with Kevin Petula's offense, but I think Hurts is going to be able to do just fine in that regard. And I think it's going to also be vice versa for the Eagles. Obviously, we have, like we just got talking about, Davis, Smith, and Carter. We're going to see how Mahomes handles the big guys, on our defense and how they're going to be able to deliver without really being so, I want to say, for lack of a better word, so secure in our cornerback room right now, but how our big guys up front are going to be able to do. So I'm looking at how both quarterbacks are going to be able to handle the pressure from the defense because they didn't really quite get that the week before, despite the Eagles winning and the Chiefs losing. And then I'm also going to look at how Barkley is going to do this weekend against the Chiefs because the Chiefs struggled against, or struggled with their run defense last week, but that doesn't mean that they don't have experience with Barkley. Obviously, we just came off of the Super Bowl where they know exactly what Barkley is about. So I assume that they're going to have some strategies around trying to contain Barkley. I don't think it's going to be successful. I think Barkley is too fast and too good of an athlete to be able to be trapped in a situation like that for too long. So I'm excited to see how Barkley and Hurts are handling this Chiefs defense. That being said, though, I think the Eagles have some great momentum from last week. They're going to correct their mistakes. They are going to fix the things that need to be fixed. Like, we already got over the Carter incident and all that, and that's a thing of the past. But I think they're going to look at this Chiefs team as just another team, not a Super Bowl rematch, no locker room or board material or like whatever they like to call it. They're just going to look at this as another opponent who has a different set of skills, a little bit tougher set of skills, and they're going to do what they can, again, to go out and deliver a win. And that might be a reception-heavy game. That might be a rush-heavy game, but they're going to figure out a way to put a stop to the Chiefs.
What do you think what's your score for this game?
Ooh, if I remember correctly, because I do like to judge it based off of the over-unders I see on BetMGM, and I believe it's in like the 40s or something. I want to say, God, I'm going to take the Eagles to win. I think they're going to win by a little bit more of a comfortable margin, maybe not as close as the Cowboys, but I want to say the Eagles win by at least a touchdown. So maybe give me 28-21.
Yeah, and for me, my keys for the game is real simple, man. Whatever mistakes you made last week versus the Cowboys, got to be fixed versus the Chiefs. Now, I need to see AJ and Smitty. It needs to be the Jalen and AJ show along with Smitty. We probably won't have Goddard. We'll see later on today with the injury report. A little bit of Saquon. So whatever you got to fix on the offense side of the ball, got to be fixed. Defensively, you got to sack Mahomes. That is the only way you get a chance at stopping the Chiefs. Sack Patrick Mahomes. You get a sack, you get a turnover. That's how things gets done. And I got the Eagles winning 30-20. That's my score. And
good points, real good points. So coming off Jennifer's point, the trenches is very important. Talking about the defensive line, Chris Jones is going to want to get. Chris Jones ain't getting enough. Did we even see Chris Jones except on the sideline crying in the Super Bowl? He's going to want to get to Jalen Hurts. So this offensive line is going to really be ready. It's going to be one in the trenches. They got a new tackle. They drafted Josh Simmons. He Kansas City. He did good in camp, and so that's going to be a big. Jalen Carter's back. He's going to be hung. Two guys, Chris Jones and Jalen Carter, to look at in this game. What Cool Cat talking about? Yeah, everything got to be done better. This is the Chiefs now. Mm-hmm. Second week, trying to kick up. One thing he was talking about was Saquon Barkley. I would think Saquon Barkley would want some get back. I mean, he did do a good. He caught the ball. He was doing. If people don't know, he was really a weapon in that game because they had to adjust the whole game for Barkley and everybody else got open. That's just what it was. People saying he shut him down. No, they had to adjust the game to go on at Barkley. Then the other weapons was getting off because you can't play them one-on-one either. So now you come to this game. That's why I think this score, and I'm going to go with the score, I think it'll be 35-21. I just don't have no confidence in them right now. I don't have no confidence in Kansas City. I don't know where they're at. Who's their running back? The offensive line to get better with Josh Simmons. They made some trades. Sacking Patrick Mahomes is key. Getting pressure is one thing. Listen, you can sack him. That was all hype, but don't be getting crazy if we don't touch Patrick Mahomes. We didn't touch Dak Prescott. And what type of performance did he really have? I mean, seriously. I mean, we can blame CeeDee Lamb for dropping 2 passes, but how many passing yards did Dak Prescott really have? Like because they were getting to him. You saw Nolan Smith, you saw Byron Young getting back there, you saw Jordan Davis getting up there. Jordan Davis deflected a pass. They were getting pressure on him, but it's always key to touch him. It is key. It's better to touch him. No question. Better to touch him. So I would say 35-20. I just think I'm looking at where the weapon is, especially if Xavier Worthy is gone. Is Hollywood Brown really got a chemistry with him? We know Travis Kelce, but who, like I said, who's running the ball? I know the Chiefs will win this year. They are an elite franchise, but against the Eagles, people got to start being real. This is the team of teams. I've been watching the Eagles since '89. I've been a fan for a long time. I've seen the Buddy Ryan years. I've seen the Rich Kotite years. I've seen the Ray Rhodes years. I've seen the Chip Kelly years. I've seen those years, and this team, the best era you're looking at right now, Eagle fans in football. They have a young squad. They have the checkbook together. They have the best GM in football. They have a superstar quarterback that knows all the right things to say. They have everything you're supposed to have. And going against the Chiefs, which is in the Super Bowl, you saw it, they were overmatched. And I'm telling you right now, the Eagles are that team. And I'm still going with my 15-2 record. They're going to lose to Green Bay, and they're going to lose to Washington. 2 losses I'm picking. And I'm saying right now, 35-21. I feel like this game, I think the hardest games is coming, but this is just not it. I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't think – I think the Chiefs will go to the Super Bowl. I'm picking that. I know that the Ravens look good. I know that the Bills are tough. But I think when it comes down to it, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, there's nobody better that put their heads together on the AFC side. Right now, you're matching it with Nick Sirianni, Jeffrey Lurie, and Howie Roseman. That's what's over there. And Vic Fangio. Now that's why this match, because their team always puts things together. The Eagles are doing a good job. I say 35-21.
Yep, simple as that, man.
I'm sorry, my bad, Cool Cat. Big game. I'm sorry about that. Big player games from this is going to be AJ Brown, no question. And I think in this game, Saquon Barkley is going to be good in the passing game and good in the running game. They're going to find ways to get him open. I think just like they watch tape on Barkley, Fangio has watched tape on Spag, and so is Sirianni. And they're going to get him open. I'm not going to say 100-yard game, even though anything's possible with Saquon. That man's special. He's a different type of running back. He's a different type. But I think he'll get like 80 yards and catch like 70 yards. I think that'll happen. I think that'll happen, and I think. On the defense, get ready to see Zadarius Smith make his. I really think he's gonna get a sack this game. I think Nolan Smith gonna get a sack. He almost got one a couple of times, even though that crazy questionable call, roughing the passer. How is it roughing the passer before the ball even comes out? Did anybody see that play where they gave him a roughing the passer and his hand was just in the air and it hit his head? Like that's the new rule. That's crazy. That's crazy. I really didn't get that. Then they gave him a penalty for flexing. You can't do that now. You can't go, you can't put the muscles up. And That's all he did was flex. He didn't do nothing. So that was crazy. That's one of the two things I ain't talking. Them two calls were crazy. Like that's the new rules now. But I think Nolan Smith and AJ Brown are my two picks next year. I mean, for the next one, and Zadarius Smith gets a sack.
Yep. So before we go, let's do this. Next week, when we come back here next week, me and Leader, and hopefully Jane, you come back as well, along with other guests. Who's gonna get a game on offense, defense? Who's the three men that you're gonna say this guy deserves a game ball? We'll start with Jen. 3 guys on offense, 3 guys on defense. Who's gonna get a game ball when we come back next Thursday?
Oh, let's see, 3 guys on offense and 3 guys on defense. I want to say I'll start with defense. I do kind of want to agree there with Zadarius. I think if Zadarius goes out this weekend and he absolutely destroys Mahomes and the Chiefs, he's definitely getting the game ball. He's coming in and making an immediate impact, and that's going to be felt across the team, not just on that defense. I think Jalen Carter wants to come back and have a better game than he did the first time. I think he's over the whole spit thing. I think he regrets it. I think he wants to just do better. And I think he had said at some point that he really wants to work to earn the trust back of Philadelphia. Cause when we don't like you, we don't like you. And when we like you, we love you. So I think Jalen Carter is going to work really hard in this game to come back and really put up some good numbers, really put up some good pressures, and hopefully, of course, get a sack as well. For third, I also kind of want to lean towards Jordan Davis. I think we saw a major, for lack of a better word, kind of a glow up in the offseason. He lost a lot of weight. He's moving pretty incredibly. I think he's probably going to have an underrated game. I think he's going to be somebody who is able to aid for right now. The assistance of Zadarius Smith and what Carter and the rest of the defense and the defensive front will be able to do. So those are my 3 guys for defense. And then for offense, I think Saquon Barkley will probably ball out this weekend. I don't think the Chiefs get their stuff together about figuring out their run defense. I don't think they figure that out this weekend, and they're not going to figure it out against another team with an impeccable running back room. So Saquon Barkley, I think, is definitely a shoo-in to get a game ball. I think Hurts definitely has another game, another good game. I think he has a better game than he does last week because I think he's somebody who I feel like will take self-discipline and will be like, okay, these are the things I did wrong in this game, and here's how I'm going to return and be better. So I think he's just not only going to improve, but just get better after each and every game. And I think we're going to see that majorly with the Chiefs. And kind of not a talking point, but kind of something I wanted to bring up too is if Hurts is able to take a win this weekend, not only do the Eagles go up 2-0, but the Chiefs are going to be down 0-2. They're going to be creating internal chaos, external chaos, just by giving the Chiefs another loss. I mean, they could be 1-1 right now. Or potentially 1-1 after week 2 had they won against the Chargers. But we might see a Chiefs team that is 0-2. So I think Jalen Hurts will have a huge part in the Chiefs having their 0-2 start to the season. And then, it's kind of a toss up for me between AJ Brown or Devontae Smith, but I feel like AJ Brown is the guy who, if this weekend happens to be it, will have an incredible game, makes that comeback where we kind of missed his presence in week 1. So I think he gets a game ball as well. So just to round that all out for defense, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and or Zadarius Smith. And then for offense, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, or Jalen Hurts for my game ball picks.
Leader? Man, okay. The offense, I'm going to go AJ Brown for sure, and I'm going to say Dallas Goedert, another one. People forget about him. They forget about Dallas Goedert. I mean, and he's going to benefit off that. Because
we got to see if he got to play, though. We got to see if he's going to play. We got to see if he's going to play.
Oh, that's right. We do have it could be injury. It could be injury. But if Dallas playing, I see Dallas being there. If he don't play, it's Jahan. Jahan is, you could tell they're used to him. He's not afraid of throwing a 51-yard bomb to him. It's Jahan. And I say AJ, Jahan or Dallas, and no question for the offense, Jalen Hurts. He always does good against the Chiefs. He always that's his team. Defense, I'm gonna go with Jalen Carter because he's hungry. We just talked about Jen just talked about, he knows he gotta do good. He wants to prove himself. You think he ain't gonna go out there and want to wreck shop? He's licking his chops. He ain't played all season. He's ready to do it. Nolan Smith. I'm going with Nolan Smith. And I'm gonna go with Quinyon Mitchell. I'm gonna say Quinyon or Cooper. One of them two, because you see how Cooper was guarding. When you could bring your nickel up to guard your main receiver, that is a cheat code. Like he was guarding Dak. He was guarding Dak on that last play, right? And y'all see how Dak had to jump. He didn't want to go with him one-on-one because he really could have just went and caught that ball like this. When a receiver is willing to catch that ball, when they throw it like that, the receiver would just run and rely on his speed. The reason why he jumped, because Cooper was running faster than he was. Cooper runs a 4.4. So he had to try to out-jump him to catch that ball. He was uncomfortable. That is a cheat code. So those are my guys right there, man. I just think they're going to try to – Pat Mahomes has to be a key. So one of those cornerbacks or both of them is going to be putting in major work. Yeah, I mean, they could put in major work.
Yep. And for me, my game balls, I'll say Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, and Quinyon Mitchell. Offense, I'll say AJ, Saquon, and QB1. So those are my game balls for me. And with that, any final thoughts, leader, before we wrap it up?
The rematch. It's the rematch, man. Go in there. I think they're going to go in there with a mission. They've been on a mission since camp, man. It's just a different team on this sideline. How they talk to each other. How they didn't even know about the unveiling. Remember the game? This was the unveiling game. Remember? Mm-hmm. Nick Sirianni didn't even know what was happening. He said, we're not going to be out there. They're on a whole nother mission.
By the way, before we go, force on the banner. Force on the banner. Force on the banner.
What's wrong? No, listen, that's celebration. Celebration, man. They should put it on Broad Street. Listen, that's a celebration. It's good to have that. And I was telling you, Cool Cat, like, we looking at this offseason because every time they won the Super Bowl, the offseason wasn't the same. It wasn't a good offseason. When they went to the Super Bowl, when T.O. was here, he was doing push-ups, and then it was crazy, right? Then after 2017, guys was getting hurt. We get a contract to Carson, but really that team was getting older. Everybody was on their last hurrah, from Tim Jernigan, all those guys on their last hurrah, Ronald Darby. But this is a young team, and I say it's a key to see what this offseason is like, what the draft is like, because we also always had bad drafts after the Super Bowls we went to. All right, so this was except for 2022, but this was a good draft. Was a good offseason. He didn't go so hard. He gave extensions to Lane Johnson, paid Saquon. Philadelphia puts their culture that if you play good here, you'll get paid. Yep. You will get paid. Like, it's just good. So I think that they're going to ride in high off the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, it wasn't a joke we beat y'all. It was for real.
Right. Jen, final thoughts. Thank you for coming. But final thoughts for you, Jen?
Yeah, and thank you for having me, of course. And I cannot wait to return. Thank you so much again for having me, of course. But we keep bringing up, that the Eagles are a different team this season, which they absolutely are. They're a different team physically. We've lost some guys, we've gained some guys, but they're also a different team mentally. I mean, this entire offseason, they did not give one breath of fresh air to the Super Bowl. They did not really acknowledge their win. No. I mean, Jalen, I don't even think probably has worn his ring like ever.
He didn't. He didn't. I don't think he has.
They're a different team mentally. Yeah. And I think, kind of talking about the banner thing too, I think they're kind of they're going to be playing some mental chess. I think they are a super team. There's not going to be any doubts in my mind that they're a super team. And you know why they're a super team? Because they went and they won the Super Bowl. That's just how it is. A Super Bowl winning team is a super team. It's
there you go. There you go.
2 + 2 = 4.
Now, I agree with that totally.
With them not being out for the banner, just immediately put some sort of psychological warfare on the Cowboys. And from that moment, I was like, I don't know how, but the Eagles are going to find a way to win this game, because them not being out for the banner, but the Cowboys being out there for the banner, or just at least knowing that the banner drop is going on, is just enough to set them off. And that's probably in part, maybe even in the smallest way, indirectly, why Dak Prescott spit at Jalen Carter or spit at, the defense. because of the psychological warfare. And I think it's excellent to see from the Eagles, because if the Eagles can't be, or really any team in the NFL nowadays, if they can't be a aggressive kind of defensive team because they're going to get penalized for the silliest things, then they gotta strike mentally. They gotta be able to do what they can to invoke some sort of like off-putting energy into the other team, and it's only going to help the Eagles win more and only help them be able to do better, because they're messing with the other team's head, but the Eagles are not worrying about a thing because they're so locked in and they're so hungry that they're just going to be able to do what they do best. And that's why I'm really excited for the season, because comparing this win to their last win, of course, following their first Super Bowl win, it was a team that was very, very celebratory after maybe almost every touchdown. They had some internal issues. They were kind of almost looking like how the Chiefs are looking right now, which is unfortunate to say, because the Chiefs don't deserve to be in the spot that they're in right now. They deserve to still be the elite team and have that elite narrative in the NFL. But I love that the direction that this Eagles team is going in mentally, because they just look like such a much more mature team. And I think it's only going to get better from here for them.
Yeah, cool, kid. I wondered more. One thing I used to say before we roll, the super team part. Remember, I used to say, listen, the Eagles not a super team because, listen, a super team is bought. I get they got that from the NBA, but that right there, what Jen just said, is what makes them. I would agree with that. They won the Super Bowl. The super team. So I definitely, that makes sense why people, they were always saying what Jalen Hurts needed to do before 2022. Remember, he didn't pass, but he did. What he needed to do after 2023, and he did. Less than turnovers. He did, and they won the Super Bowl. That's a super team. You know what? That's that's why they're a super team. They won the Super Bowl. You got to call them a super team. That's what it is. I mean, definitely a good team. I can't wait for this game. Great for having you, Jim. We will have you back on. Everybody follow Jennifer McGraw on Twitter, man. One of the best writers out there. Eagles Wire, you'll say today. My boy Cool Cat, one of the best in his game. Hosts out here, man. Analysts. We're going to be watching these Eagles Sunday, man. Sauce wings all day when Sunday comes up, all right? And we're going, all my Eagles fans, my Bird gang, y'all have a good time, man. Great. God bless your families. Y'all go out there and do good, man. Good weather out there.
And with that, we out here. Fly, Eagles, fly, go Birds. The leader says, lights.